Hello students, good morning to all of you. So, after finishing the topic aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid, now we are going to study next important topic, and that topic is biomolecules. So let's start from the introduction of this topic. So we know that three basic needs of human beings are food, clothes and shelter. So three basic needs of human are food, then cloth and shelter. So food is one of the basic unit of all the living organisms. So living organisms require food for their growth and health. Living organism require food. So living organism require food for their growth, for their growth and health maintenance. So human food material, it contains milk. Human food material, it contains milk. Then it also contains vegetables, then fruits, then eggs, then oil, then ghee, etc. So human required food material for their growth and health maintenance. So human food material, it consists of food material like milk, vegetable, fruits, eggs, oil, ghee, etc. So all these food material, all these food material, they are broadly classified into proteins, carbohydrates, fats, oils, etc. So human food material, it can be broadly classified into carbohydrates, proteins, fats, oil, etc. So these are called as biomolecules. So human food material, it can be broadly classified into carbohydrates, proteins, fats, etc. And they are called as biomolecules. So let's study the definition of biomolecule. So biomolecules are defined as lifeless molecule. Lifeless molecule. So lifeless molecules which combines in a specific manner, in a specific manner to produce life, to produce life, or control control biological reactions, or control biological reactions. So this is the definition of biomolecules. Once again, I am going to repeat the sentence or definition. So biomolecules are defined as lifeless molecule. They are having a very short life. So lifeless molecule which combines in a specific manner to produce life, or control the biological reactions. So they are called as biomolecules. So primary structural material of organisms are proteins and cellulose. So proteins and cellulose are primary structural material of organisms. So among these two, proteins are the important compounds. So proteins are the important biological material, and protein it is the component of hair. Then protein it is the component of skin, then muscles, then nails, etc. So protein and cellulose, they are the primary structural material of organisms. So proteins are important components of hair, skin, muscle, nails, etc. We know that by the process of photosynthesis, plant produces carbohydrates. By the process of photosynthesis. So by the process of photosynthesis, plant produces carbohydrates. And these carbohydrates, they are the source of energy in our body. So we know that in our body, RNA and DNA are present in the nucleus of cell. So RNA and DNA are present in the nucleus of cell. So RNA and DNA, they are also important biomolecules. So they are responsible for genetic character and protein synthesis. So in this topic, we are going to study three biomolecules, namely carbohydrates, proteins, then proteins and nucleic acids. So in this topic we are going to study in detail about carbohydrates, proteins and nucleic acids. So let's study the first biomolecule in detail, and that biomolecule is carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, these are the naturally occurring substances. Carbohydrates are the naturally occurring substances. These are the naturally occurring substances, and they contains elements like carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So earlier chemists noticed that carbohydrates had molecular formula which could be represented as CX in bracket H2O Y. So here these X and Y, they are the integers. They are the integers. So earlier scientists noticed that, or chemists noticed that carbohydrates had molecular formula, and it is represented as CxH2O, where X and Y are the integers. So carbohydrates are considered as the compounds. Carbohydrates are considered as the compounds in which carbon is surrounded by water molecule. Carbohydrates are considered as the compounds in which carbon is surrounded by water molecule, that is, they are the hydrates of carbon. Hence, the name is carbohydrates. So this name carbohydrates, it is derived because in earlier days scientists believed that in carbohydrates carbon is surrounded by water molecule, that is, they are the hydrates of carbon. That's why their name is the carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, they are represented by the formula CxH2O. For example, glucose. So glucose is the example of carbohydrate, and glucose having the formula C6H12O6. It is its molecular formula, and it is considered as C6 in bracket H2O 6 times. So another example of carbohydrate is sucrose. So sucrose having the molecular formula C12H22O11 and is considered as C12 in bracket H2O 11 times. But later studies revealed that these compounds were not the hydrates of carbon. Later on, scientists believed that these compounds are not the hydrates of carbon. So, from simple chemical reactions of many carbohydrates, of many carbohydrates, they can be defined as polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. Polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. So polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones are compounds which give rise to such unit on hydrolysis. So this is the exact definition of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are defined as these are the polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. Polyhydroxyaldehydes means compound which contains more than 3 hydroxyl groups. So these carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. So they contains aldehydic group or ketonic group. So polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones are compounds which give rise such units on hydrolysis. So it is called as carbohydrates. So after studying the definition of carbohydrates, let's study some examples. So examples of carbohydrates are glucose, then sucrose, then fructose, etc. So some carbohydrates like glucose, fructose, sucrose, they are sweet in taste, crystalline and water soluble. So they are called as sugars. So among some carbohydrates like glucose, then fructose, etc. So among some carbohydrates like glucose, fructose or sucrose, they are sweet in taste. They are sweet in taste. Then they are crystalline in nature. They are crystalline in nature. And they are water soluble. They are water insoluble. So such carbohydrates, they are called as sugars. They are called as sugars. So most commonly used sugar is sucrose. Most commonly used sugar is sucrose, and sucrose it can be obtained. Sucrose it can be obtained from sugar cane or sugar beet. So the sugar present in milk, sugar it is also present. So sugar present in milk, it is lactose. Remember that the sugar which is present in milk, it is lactose. So Greek word for sugar is saccharon. Hence carbohydrates are also called as saccharides. So on the other hand, some carbohydrates like starch, it is one of the example of carbohydrate. So some carbohydrates like starch, then cellulose, then glycogen, these are the examples of carbohydrates. So some carbohydrates, they are amorphous in nature. They are amorphous in nature. Then they are tasteless. They are tasteless and are water insoluble. And are water insoluble. Then they are called as non-sugars. They are called as non-sugars. That means some carbohydrates are sugars. So the carbohydrates which are sugars, they are sweet in taste, they are crystalline in nature, and they are water soluble. While some carbohydrates are called as non-sugars, and they are amorphous in nature, they are tasteless, and they are water insoluble. So they are non-sugars. For example, starch, cellulose, then glycogen. etc. So, in the introduction, we studied the definition of biomolecule. Definition of biomolecule is nothing but lifeless molecule which combines in a specific manner to produce life or control the biological reaction. So, after that, we are studying in detail about carbohydrate. This is the first biomolecule which we are going to study in detail in this topic. So carbohydrates, they are nothing but these are the naturally occurring substances and they contain elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So carbohydrates are exactly defined as polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. They contain more than 3 hydroxyl groups, that's why polyhydroxy. And they contain aldehydic or ketonic functional group, that's why the definition is polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or compounds which give rise to such units on hydrolysis. So examples of carbohydrates are glucose, then fructose, then starch, cellulose, glycogen, etc. These are the different examples of carbohydrates. So among carbohydrates, some carbohydrates are sweet in taste, crystalline in nature, and they are water soluble, and such carbohydrates are called as sugars. While some carbohydrates are amorphous in nature, tasteless, and they are water insoluble, then such carbohydrates are called as non-sugars. And remember that the sugar present in milk, it is the lactose. Then the next article which we are going to study in detail in this topic is classification of carbohydrates. So let's study classification of carbohydrates. So on the basis of their behavior towards hydrolysis, on the basis of their behavior towards hydrolysis, carbohydrates are classified into three main classes. So these three main classes are, first one it is the monosaccharide, second one is the oligosaccharide, and third one it is the polysaccharides. That means in short we can say that carbohydrate on their basis of behavior towards hydrolysis, they are classified into three main classes: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. So let's study the first class in detail, and that is the monosaccharides. So monosaccharides are nothing but carbohydrates which can be hydrolyzed further. Monosaccharides are defined as carbohydrates which can be hydrolyzed, which cannot be hydrolyzed further, into simple sugar. So such carbohydrates are called as monosaccharides. So carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed further into simple sugars, they are called as monosaccharides. So these monosaccharides, these are the basic units of all the carbohydrates. Monosaccharides are the basic units of all the carbohydrates. So examples of monosaccharides are glucose. Glucose, it is the monosaccharide. Why it is the monosaccharide? Because it cannot be hydrolyzed further into simple sugar. So glucose, then fructose. Glucose, then fructose, then mannose. Mannose, then another example, ribose, etc. So these are the examples of monosaccharides. Then the next class of carbohydrates is oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides. So it is one of the class of carbohydrates. So oligosaccharides are nothing but carbohydrates which on hydrolysis gives 2 to 10 units of same or different monosaccharides. So they are called as oligosaccharides. Listen once again the definition of oligosaccharide. Carbohydrates which on hydrolysis gives 2 to 10 units of same or different monosaccharide units. They are called as oligosaccharides. So these oligosaccharides, they are further classified into disaccharide, trisaccharide and tetrasaccharides. So depending upon number of monosaccharide units, number of monosaccharide units produced on their hydrolysis, these oligosaccharides, they are classified as disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides. So first one, it is the disaccharides. So disaccharides are nothing but these are the oligosaccharides which yields two monosaccharide units. So disaccharides are nothing but these are the oligosaccharides, or these are the carbohydrates which yields two monosaccharide units on their hydrolysis. So such carbohydrate is called as disaccharides. So for example, sucrose. So sucrose on hydrolysis it produces one glucose unit, and one fructose unit, that's why sucrose, it is the example of disaccharide. Why sucrose it is the example of disaccharide? Because sucrose on hydrolysis it produces two monosaccharide units. Among them, the first one it is the glucose and second unit it is the fructose. Then the next example it is the maltose. So maltose on hydrolysis it produces two glucose units. The next example it is the lactose. It is the next example of disaccharide. So this lactose it on hydrolysis it produces one glucose unit and one galactose unit. One glucose unit and one galactose unit. So lactose on hydrolysis it produces two monosaccharides. First one it is the one glucose unit and second one it is one galactose unit. That's why lactose it is also the example of disaccharides. Then oligosaccharides are further classified also as trisaccharides. So trisaccharides are nothing but these are the oligosaccharides or these are the carbohydrates which yields three monosaccharide units on their hydrolysis. So carbohydrate which on hydrolysis produces three monosaccharide units, they are called as trisaccharides. So example of this trisaccharide is raffinose. So example of trisaccharide is raffinose. So this raffinose it on hydrolysis it produces one each unit of glucose, fructose and galactose. So raffinose on hydrolysis it produces one each unit of glucose, fructose and galactose. That's why it is the example of trisaccharides. Then next one it is the tetrasaccharides. So tetrasaccharides yields or carbohydrate which yields four monosaccharide units. On their hydrolysis. So carbohydrate or oligosaccharide which on hydrolysis produces 4 monosaccharide unit. So such carbohydrates, they are called as tetrasaccharides. So example of this tetrasaccharide is staichos. Example is staichos. So these staichos on hydrolysis, it produces total 4 monosaccharide units. Among them, one is glucosinate, one is fructosinate, and it produces 2 galactosinate. That's why staichos, it is the example of tetrasaccharide. So once again I am going to repeat it. Staichos on hydrolysis, it produces 1 glucosinate, 1 fructosinate, and 2 galactosinate. That's why it is the example of tetrasaccharides. So the next class of carbohydrate is third one. It is the polysaccharides. So it is next class of carbohydrates. So polysaccharide, they yields large number of monosaccharides on their hydrolysis. So carbohydrates which produces large number of monosaccharides. Large number of monosaccharides means more than 10 monosaccharides. So carbohydrate which produces large number of monosaccharides on their hydrolysis, they are called as polysaccharides. So examples of polysaccharides are starch. So starch on hydrolysis, it produces large number of glucosinates. That's why starch, it is the example of polysaccharide. Another example is cellulose. Then another example, it is the glycogen. So remember that examples of polysaccharides are starch, then cellulose, then glycogen. So here we finished classification of carbohydrates. Again, you please remember that on the basis of their behavior towards hydrolysis, carbohydrates, they are classified into 3 main classes: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. So on the basis of their behavior towards hydrolysis, carbohydrates are classified into 3 classes: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. So after studying classification of carbohydrates in detail, we are going to stop here. Thank you.